Chapter and everyone. I'm Alicia and I will be the MC for this talk. Welcome to this joint collaboration event by IEM and TAM Student Sarawak Student Section. We are honored to have IR Edison and from IEM Sarawak branch and Dr. Kelvin from Swinburne Sarawak. Not to further delay, let us start our talk now. We would like to invite IR Edison to talk on route to become a professional engineer. IR Edison, please. You may also share your screen now.
Okay, can. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Can I?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for the IEM student sessions and also the 10 student session from Sweden for inviting me to give this short talk, Route to the Professional Engineers. And I was only given 30 minutes, so I assume that this is going to be just a very overview to give the participants what is a professional engineers and how the candidate or the undergraduate they wanted to pursue their professional engineers in the future and what actually they are expecting. So, like I mentioned, I'm just going to talk about a little overview, the route to the professional engineers. Sorry, do I need to do introductions or just straight?
It's okay.
It's okay, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe just a brief introduction. Yeah. My name is Edison. So I'm a civil engineer. So I'm from a civil engineering background. So later when I talk about the slide, you might notice that I give a lot of example in the civil engineering. So currently I'm a committee with IEM Sarawak branch. I'm the ordinary committee for this term. So I'll back to the slide. So what is the professional titles that are available in Malaysia? So I think here it do show that there is a few titles like IR is for professional engineers, which is actually registered with the Board of Engineers. And doctor, it can be the medical doctor or the doctor of philosophy, the PhD. We have the title for the SR, the surveyor, who are actually registered with the Royal Institute of Surveyor Malaysia. We also have the AR, the architect, the professional architect, they actually register with the Board of Architect Malaysia. And we also have the TS, Professional Technologist, which is registered with the MBOD, where I believe that later Dr. Kelvin will talk about the route to the professional technologies. And we also have the TC, the Certified Technician, the TPR, the Tower Planner, the CHM, Professional Chemist, the CR, Registered Counselor, and then the PHAM for the Registered Pharmacist. So what is actually all these professional title? For the professional title, they actually carry certain weightage to the person. It means that that particular person has undergo certain years of experience. He demonstrates that he has a certain professional competence through the educational, training, and professional practice. So we can say that, to be able to call ourselves as a professionals. So from the source of the BM, as of yesterday, you can see that the statistic of professional engineer with practicing certificate, or sometimes we call it the PPC. For the whole Malaysia, there is 9,056 registered person, and for professional engineer PE, there is 4,822. Okay, generally there is three route to register as a professional engineers. So we came into the route A, which is the candidate need to pass professional assessment examination. Sometimes we call it the PAE, which conducted by the board. So the board here is the board of engineer. And for the route B is the candidate must hold professional qualification which the board consider to be equivalent to the PAE conducted by the board. So commonly for the route B will be the person with the chartered engineers. And for the route C is through the IEM where the candidate is a corporate members of the Institute of Engineers of Malaysia. So for your information, I'm obtained my PE through the so-called route C, through the MIEM, and seems that I'm from the IEM. So for this talk, we actually talk more and to promote more on the route C. Okay, for the route C, route to the MIEM, okay, this is just generally a path where the undergraduate, how they actually obtain their professional and how they go through and then obtain their PVC. So the undergraduate, they must undergo the academic requirements, which is they obtain an engineering degree, which is accredited. Once they completed their degree in engineering, then they need to actually register with the BM as a graduate engineer. And also he or she also need to register with IEM as a graduate members as well. So when they go into the working field, I think for the candidate to be able to qualify to sit for a professional interview, the candidate must at least have a minimum of 3 years of relevant work experience. Or also, some of them, they might need to go through the ECD, which is the Engineering Competency Development or the logbook scheme. So this one later I will talk more in the detail later. So after you have fulfilled all the requirements in working at least 3 years work experience, so you can apply and seek for the professional interview with the IEM. When you pass the PI, the professional interview, you are as a member or a corporate member, the MIEM, then you can register with the Board of Engineers, and you can call yourself as a professional engineer, PE, and you can carry the title of IR. And for those who the PE, professional engineer, if they want to further to get their PEPC, which is the professional engineers with the practicing certificate, which is some of people will call it the second tier PE, they need to go through the professional competency exam, which is the PEC by the BEM. Okay. The basic requirements, okay, the basic requirement is that the engineers, the undergrad engineers, after they graduated, they need to register, with the BM as a graduate engineer. So this is very important. And for you to be able to register with BM, the first thing is that the engineering degree that you obtain must be recognized, and typically is 4 years. It's a 4 years, and you need to undergo a certain periods of industry practicals, in the industry. Either for civil, sometimes you can go to consultants, you can go to contractors, or you can go to those authority departments like JKR, BID, and so on. Okay, after you have meet the following requirements, you have the engineering degrees, you register as a graduate engineers, and then you have at least 3 years of practical training experience. Then you are ready to seek for the professional interview, the PI. Okay. So what is actually assessed in the PI? So I just want to actually, along this talk, I will just share about what is the main elements that they're going to be assessed in this PI, so that for the new graduate or the new engineers, when they came to the working field, they can actually plan their route, And a lot of times that we have a lot of engineers around that after they have been working for so many years, they only then they start to look into, oh, I want to go into obtain my PI, then they start asking, what is the requirements, So all these actually, you need to actually know as early as possible, so that along the way you can start planning, to achieve, to obtain your PI. So for the professional interview, is mainly you actually assess the competence of the candidate. So what is actually competence? The competence is the ability to carry out a task to an effective standard of which the achievement require the necessary level of knowledge, understanding, the skill, as well as a professional attitude. So for a professional, you need to show, extent of knowledge, understanding the skill, to be able to solve problems, to be able to lead a team of people, to be able to work independently, and also, of course, you need to show a good attitude, a professionalism in the attitude. Okay, in the PI, there is 5 main competency category. In here, we will say that is A from A to E. Okay, the 5 main competency category. So A will be talk about the knowledge and understanding. It will test about your knowledge and understanding. Category B will be design and development of process systems, service and product. Category C will be responsibilities, management and leadership. Category D will be communications and interpersonal skill. Category E will be professional commitment. As you can see, that category A and B will be actually more on the engineering discipline specific, and C and E will be a more common skill. So all these common skill is a skill that you need to develop along your working, before you seek for your PI. All these skill you need to develop, and I believe that the job will actually equip yourself with all these elements. And out of these 5, within these 5 competency category, there are acting competency elements that you need to go through. So all these acting competency elements, later I will actually go into just a brief go through. You can actually refer to the documents of this IEM form PI A100. Where do you all get this form? No worry, okay. You can actually download this PI guideline and application form from our IEM website. Okay, you just go to the applicants, member, professional, PI. Here you can see that there is a few forms that you can actually download, like professional interview application form, IEM, MIEM application form, design and site experience, training experience, portfolio of evidence. All these forms you need to fill out before you seek for the PI, the professional interview. And of course, there will be an application fee. Okay, just now I mentioned about the competencies elements. Their total is 18. I'll just briefly go through. So I think the candidate need to be aware, they need to be aware what is the elements they need to have by a competent person, and they need to along their working field, they need to so-called fulfill, they need to fulfill all these elements. For example, for the category A, they need to maintain and extend a sound theoretical approach. He or she need to engage in creative and innovative developments in engineering technologies. He or she also need to apply engineering knowledge related to the local practice, code, standard, specification, material, product, environment plans. So the candidate need to be able to apply the engineering knowledge based on the local practice, like the local authorities, like councils, need to know the design code and standards, like we have these British BS standards, Australian standards, we have the Eurocode, we have JKR's specifications, and so on. And we also need to know some environment plans, environment specifications also. And for the category B, okay, the candidate need to identify the potential project opportunities. He need to conduct appropriate research, okay, research and undertake design. He need to know how to do the design, okay, and develop of engineering solutions. And he also need to implement a design solution and evaluate their effectiveness. So for the category B, he will actually generally cover the design and site experience of the candidate. For the category C, okay, he or she need to provide technical and commission management. So it's very much more to the project management. So you need to plan for effective project implementations. You need to plan, budget, organize, direct, control tasks, people, and resources. So I think in a project, you are not only talking about design, but you need to actually look into how to implement, how to tender out, how to ensure the quality, the QA/QC of the project, and then you need to actually look into the resources during the project, the machinery, the manpowers, and some of the project you have a lot of parties, like you have the clients, you have the consultants, you have the contractors, and you also even have like subcontractors. So you have a lot of parties. So all these need to be planned and managed. Now, of course, the candidate need to lead the teams, show the skill, that he or she need to be able to lead the teams and to develop the staff to meet the changing technicals, okay, the needs, and also bring about the continuous improvement through the quality management, okay. And for the category D, okay, it's more on the interpersonal skill, communication. So the candidate need to be able to communicate in English or Malay or with others, and then need to be able to present and discuss a proposal. Because in a lot of ways, a lot of times, engineers, they need to present, what is the method, what is the way to the clients, and sometimes the clients may not be a very technical person. Client may not be a technical person, so you need to present in a way that the people, normal, without technical background people, to know what actually your design is about, and also to demonstrate a personal and social skill. And the last category, the category E, okay, is more on the personal commitment to the professional standards, okay, to comply the relevant code of conduct, okay, to manage and apply a safe system of work to ensure that the project is safe not only to the public, but also to the environments, and to undertake the engineering activity in a way that they contribute to sustainable development, okay, and also to carry out continuous professional development necessary to maintain and enhance competence in all areas of practice. So along the working, I believe that the engineers need to keep improving the knowledge on themselves, by attending courses, talks, seminars, workshops, and so on, to improve their skills. Yeah, and also to the candidate also need to understand the legal matters in engineering professions, communicate with legal personnel on this issue. So some of the engineer, they might thought that, hey, why the engineer need to understand about the legal matters also? Because when a project is awarded to the contractors, contractors we actually going to implement the project. So the basics, of awarding this is based on the contract, the contract, the contract drawings, So some of the contract you need to be very aware of the contract, how to say, uh, what is actually inside the contract. Either the contractor are allowed to claim for the VO, the variation order, or what is the conditions where if the project is delayed, the contractor can apply for the EOT, which is the extension of time. Yeah. So the engineer need to have a certain extent of legal knowledge also, not only the design. Yeah. So you can see that the acting competency elements, it actually cover a lot, very overall what competence engineer should have. I mean, not only that you need to concentrate in the fundamental theoretical knowledge, but the candidate also need to show uh, skill in communications, in professional conduct, and also in a certain others knowledge like legal knowledge also. Yeah. So if the candidate uh, is able to fulfill, when you are filling the PI form, if the candidate to be able to fill in all these, it can show that it can give an assurance to the person that, yeah, I'm already ready to go and seek for the PI. But if the persons, when he start to filling this form, when he find that it's very difficult to fill in a certain part, what does it mean? It means that the person is still lack of certain elements. He still need to undergo maybe more experience, more time, give a bit more time, or maybe he need to find a way, changing environments, how to fulfill, all these elements. And once you be able to fulfill, then it's you know that it's the right time that I can come and sit for the PI, and I can go for my PI interview. Yeah. So after you fill the form, okay, the PI form, the acting competency elements, then you also need to prepare the training and experience report. So the training and experience report is a form of portfolio of evidence, So you can actually look into the PI application form A401. Okay, so you provide this when you fill in this training and experience report, you actually fill in a chronological what have you have been done when you start to work until the period of time where you seek for your PI. It's one thing that I need to clearly highlight to the upcoming, the futures engineers that came in. They need to actually quickly register with their BM once they obtain their this engineering degree scroll, because a lot of times the people will actually put it aside, and then or forget, or they might think that it's not important to register with BM, but it's something, the mindset that need to be changed is that the engineers, if for graduate engineers that want to practice engineers job in Malaysia, is compulsory and mandatory to register with the BM, else you'll be called as illegal engineers, Yeah, and it's very crucial that you register immediately with BM because during this training and experience report, the experience actually counted from the day that the approval from the BM, the 3 years, the maximum 3 years is actually counted from the day you started to get you register with the BM. Yeah, so it's why it's a very crucial that you register with the BM immediately after you get your transit and your degrees role. Okay, so we will talk about the design and also the site experience. As I have mentioned, is that the minimum, after you register BM, the minimum period for you to actually seek for the PI is that 3 years. Okay, and then in these 3 years, there is a certain design and site experience that you need to fulfill, and different engineering branch have a different minimums requirements in the design experience and site experience. As you can see that for civil engineering, you can see that the minimum design experience is 12, site experience is 12, mechanical is 6, site experience is 12, electrical, electronic, chemical, and other branch. So from here you can see that the mechanical is, there are more concerns on the site experience, and the electrical, they are more concerned on the design experience. And for civil, it's both. Yeah. So this is actually how you manage, the design, how you accumulate, how during you filling the form, how you quantify, your design experience and site experience in the form. For design experience, okay, design experience is the training and experience. Okay, conducting an appropriate research. I think for the lecturers, they can do appropriate research. To evaluate options, consider cost, resources, safety, environment implications, and also can develop the concept and final engineering design of engineering solutions. So I think the candidate must at least have a design experience. And for the site experience, it means that the training experience that the candidate spend on site, implement the design solution, monitoring, evaluating progress and outcome, supervising engineering work, and performing operation and maintenance and so on. So this, we can actually call it the site experience. And it shall not merely consist of periodicals or routine site field inspection, attending site meeting. So here it mentions that not merely consists. So the candidate need to show that, need to attach, it's possible to attach at the site, maybe as an IOW, inspector of work, or as a RE, because if you want to accumulate the site experience just by attending site meetings, I think for a project, you only have a monthly site meeting, for example. So for a year, you only at least just have 12 days only. So it's less than half a month. So the candidate need to figure, to plan how to fulfill the 1 year or half a year's site experience based on their branch of engineers. So it also can include the activity that demonstrate applying engineering fundamentals such as troubleshooting, institute problem solving, clarifying design uncertainty, proposing alternative design or counter propose, reviewing parameters, improving work procedures and standard practice, as well as conducting survey, material testing, and work sequence. Okay, after you have done the experience report, then the applicants also need to prepare for the technical report. Okay, the technical report is that shall demonstrate that the applicant has obtained the engineering knowledge and understand the applicant in his engineering discipline or expertise. So usually the technical report is that the candidate will choose a project where he has been working with. That's why it's very important that the candidate, when he wants to seek for the PI, he need to have a project, a significant project that he want to present, and also to demonstrate his engineering knowledge. Okay, so this is very important that the candidate, when he want to seek for the PI, he need to have a project, a significant project that he want to present, and also to demonstrate his engineering knowledge. Okay, where he actually following from the very beginning of planning until the constructions, until the handing over or maintenance is very crucial, that you have a project. The project can be big or small. For example, like civil, the project can be a two-story terrace house, or it can be even a workshop, shop houses. It can be a highway design, and for examples, yeah. So you must have a very a project that can represent yourself, yeah, where you actually have been following since the very beginning. Of course, it's better that if you can follow the project from the very beginning until the end, so that you are very familiar with the project cycles. Usually, a project can be, I think, for a civil project, it can be easily the so-called cycle, a complete cycle can be easily from 2 years to 3 years, from planning until the awarding, to the constructions until the handover. It can be easily 2 to 3 years, yeah. So that's why that's why the PM have been mentioned that at least the candidate might at least have 3 years experience, because they feel that 3 years is a minimum a candidate should go through before he can seek for these professional engineers. Of course, the PI applications need to have supporters. So he must at least one of the two must be the same discipline. At least one of the two supporters. So they need to have two supporters, two professional engineers to endorse the application form, and must be at the same disciplines. And then, of course, it's preferred to be at the same organizations as the applicants. I think for the consultants, I believe that there is a lot of seniors, and even the employer of the companies is professional engineers. So you can request your superiors to be your supporters. And how about if the applicant that do not have the PE in the same, in the same organization, the same company, the candidate can actually go through this ECD, which is, I have mentioned before, the competency development, the engineering competency development, ECD, or previously we call it the logbook training scheme. Yeah. So through this ECD, the candidate will be given a mentor, a so-called mentor. The mentor might, it won't be your same organizations, but you will be given a mentor to guide you and to verify your experience along the way. So the IM will arrange a mentor, okay, and then the mentee will need to write in what he or she has been done in the logbook, and then the logbook need to be verified by the mentor. Yeah. So the mentee will meet the mentor really, like every quarterly, every 3 months, and the mentor will actually go through, guide the mentee on the experience, and how and to obtain, giving a good advice to obtain the PI. So this logbook system also need to go through at least 3 years. It can be more, but it's a minimum that the logbook need to go through 3 years. Yeah. So after you have go through, okay, all these feelings, applications, the reports, then you go into the professional interview. Just briefly go through the interview. The interview is just there will be mostly two parts. There will be an oral interview, and there will be a written examination, which is the essay writing. So the candidate must complete these two parts in order to pass the PI. Then he will obtain his MIEM, and then with that he can actually register with the BM as a professional engineer and carry a title of IR. So This is I think once you have obtained the professional engineer, so you are able to eligible to use this P stamp. So this is the sample of stamp by the professional engineers, the PE, and this is the stamp for the PPC, the professional engineer with the practicing certificate stamp. Yeah. Of course, yeah, I think my time is almost up. Of course, in this short talk, I cannot, there's a lot more that I can share, you know, I mean, like how to feel the thing and that one. But um, along the way, I think the procedure might changing, you know. So it's a very important that the candidate keep updating himself, keep attending workshop, talk, you know, on what is the latest amendment, you know, even the form, what I'm presenting the form, it might be maybe another one or two, there might be slightly changes. So the candidate they need to always update himself to the latest requirement and also format. So of course, the candidate is encouraged to join IEM because IEM we have actually conducted a lot of these workshop and talk. You know, like recently we have this ECD workshop, as you can see on the 10th of April. So this we actually talk more on the mentor-mentee, the logbook system. So for those who actually feel that his corporate or his organization do not have a superior that can guide him, he can actually go for this ECD. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all from me. Yeah.
Thank you, IR Edison, for the informative sharing. And now we would like to invite Dr. Kelvin to give talk on the route to become a professional technologist. And Dr. Kelvin, please.
Yeah, I share my screen first.
Okay.
Okay. First, good afternoon to everyone, and thank you to IR Edison for sharing the route how to become a professional engineer in Malaysia currently. And on behalf of the what do you call it? I'm the club advisor of both club. And then for IEM Swimmen Sarawak Student Chapter, they was established back to year 2002 and 2012. And last year, we also formed our new club. Then we call it TAM, Technology Association Malaysia Swimmen Sarawak Student Chapters. And then I'm happy to see both clubs working together to organize this event. Okay, and after Mr. IR Edison have got present what is the route to become a professional engineer. Now I'm going to present my route how to become a professional technologist. Okay, can you see my screen? Yeah. Hello everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. Since today we are talking about the professional memberships, so let me introduce myself. My name is Kelvin Kuo, and then my professional affiliation is professional technologist, professional engineer with practicing certificate, member of IEM, ASEAN Chartered Professional Engineer, International Professional Engineer, ASEAN Engineer, and APEC Engineer. So it takes years to gather all these things. But maybe if you are interested, maybe from now onwards, maybe you can start to think what are the membership, what are the affiliations that we wish to have once you graduate. So to start with, similar with Edison's slides, I have several types of professional qualifications in Malaysia. So the first, I think the most famous among all is the IR, a professional engineer. Then we have the professional architect, the short form initially is AR. Then we have a professional surveyor, SR. Professional technologist actually was just started in year 2015. Then once we register, we can get the affiliation of TS, professional chemist, CHM, professional geologist, PGO, professional landscape architect, LAR, professional geospecialist, and I think it is very odd to have this title. Only those involved in GPS, working in the GPS, GPRS, then they will again this title GS. And then professional town planning, TPR, professional counselor, CR, professional medical doctor, DR. And in terms of academic, we might have affiliate qualification also. We have a doctor of philosophy. Then the affiliation will be the DR. Then after working for certain years, then you will be promoted to associate prof, and then associate prof, and then finally prof, professor. And other title used for general, which is not in a professional, we might have Dato, Dato Seri, Dato, D-A-T-O apostrophe, okay, Seri, Tan Sri, Tun, might have a Dato Palima, Dato Wira, Dato Ama, and all these titles that you might think of getting it in future, okay. So why we have this title, okay? Why do we need this to have this professional qualification? Actually, basically, is talking about the image lah. By the time you have all this title, and then you hand out over your name card to other people, and people have a first impression of you is you have a good technical knowledge, you are able to work independently without any supervision, you are able to manage the project and the team, you are able to communicate effectively, you care about health and safety and environmental issues, you are abiding code of ethics. Since people, once you have all these titles and people have this perception on you, thereafter, of course, you need to perform lah. Okay, so no matter what it is, actually you need, at the end of the day, if you're able to gain the project, okay, due to all these affiliations, then make sure that you will are able to produce the quality words at the end of the day, or else it is just one off business. One time, if the quality is not good, then people will not come and look for you anymore. Okay. So for engineers, they are most of the time we are going for IR, yeah, and then IR actually it have been started, okay, since 1967, established under the Registration of Engineers Act 1967. Then it was revised in 2015 under Article 8.1. So what was mentioned over there is a professional engineer with practice certificate and engineering consulting practice, they are only allowed to submit plans, engineering survey, drawing, schematic proposal, report, design or studies to any person or authority in Malaysia. So this was after year 2015. Before year 2015, actually there's one tier only. As long as you pass the examination, as long as you complete the essay, pass the PI professional interview, then they will be awarded you with a professional engineer, and you can carry the title IR at the front and then PENG at the back of your name. And then in year 2015, they do some amendment. So under this amendment, what did they do is it was divided into two tiers. First tier is a professional engineer. You can carry the title at the front, IR at the front. At the back, you can put PNG at the back of your name, but you are not allowed to submit the plan. And then if you want to submit the plan, okay, after tier 1, then you have to go for tier 2 examinations. Then only then you are only allowed to submit the plan. But luckily for those who have obtained the professional engineer status before year 2015, then we are automatically given being awarded the second tier, which is equivalent to PEPC, Professional Engineer with Practicing Certificates, and we are allowed to submit plans and then do the engineering surveys drawings to the authorities within Malaysia. TS, it was established a few years back only. It is under Technologist and Technician Act 2015, Act 768, Article 19A. So under this act, what is mentioned is professional engineers, they are allowed to approve and certify all the services provided by the competent persons, and all the services provided by the competent persons, all the application in technology, okay, need to be chopped and certified, approved and certified by these technologists and technicians. Okay, until this, I think it have not put in practice yet lah. It is still under planning, most probably because of the COVID pandemic. So this professional technologies, actually, it was launched by this Malaysia Board of Technology and Board, and we have all this mission, vision, and objective. The mission will be the world-class professional body of technologies and technicians. Then the mission will be the elevate the standing, visibility, and recognition of the technologies and technicians. Then objective is to increase the pool of skill workforce required to attend a high-income economy and to protect public safety and health. So at the moment, graduate technologists have been registered with MBOD 21,154, qualified technician 3,736, professional technology 9,253, then certified technician only 920. So altogether, the member is about 35,000 plus. Okay. So who is MBOD actually? So full name for MBOD is Malaysian Board of Technologists. Okay. So actually, it's a professional bodies that look after technologists and technicians under the Act under the Act of 768. So MBOD, the technician is looking after the technician with SKM or diploma qualifications, and technologies is the one with bachelor degree level and above. So the background of MBOD, okay, basically as I mentioned just now, it was formed due to the through Technologists and Technicians Act 2015, falling under the sub-act of 768. And initially, this MBOD initially was planned in TAM Malaysia plan. The main purpose is to set up a professional body and then to recognize the graduates with technology background. Okay, and at the same time, after they recognize the people with the skills with technology background, then MBOD is going to help to assist to ensure the quality of the professions with the dynamic development, where they are going to give talks, make sure that you are in line with the current industry and also current trends of manufacturing technologies such as automation, IoT, Internet of Things, and cyber physical systems. Okay, what are the functions of MBOD? Okay, basically under Section 5, 768, okay, there are four main functions of MBOD. The first one is try to register the technologists and technicians as professionals. Okay, then they also give talks, promote education and training, meaning to say that from time to time they also organize talk, organize training with CPD. CPD means for continuous professional development, and starting from this year, they are start to count CPD attended per year for all the members. And they also conduct assessment. For certain courses, it look like EAC, okay, it need to be assessed by the MBOD, okay, especially I think at the moment is most probably the units in computer engineering, biotech, it will be assessed by MBOD, okay. And another assessment they conducted by MBOD will be the admission into the professional technologies. They are doing the assessment also with the help of TAM, okay. And the last one will be to determine and regulate the conduct and ethics. And every professional body, they have its own code of ethics. And inside there, most of the time, is talking about all the core ethics are more or less the same. And for code of ethics, basically, it's talking about you cannot bribe, you cannot be biased, you have to think other people when you make a decision. Okay, you cannot backstab other people, you cannot take away some other people's work, and so on, blah blah blah. So yeah, so they have to ensure that all the members are following all these code of ethics. This is one of the functions of MBOD. Okay, then the chairman, the president of MBOD currently is Yang Berbahagia Dato' TSIR Dr. Siti Hamisa binti Tafsir, if I was not mistaken. Previously, he was a lecturer in UTM University Technology Malaysia. Now, currently, he's the Chief Secretary of MOSTI, Kementerian Science, Technology and Inovasi. And under MOSTI, we have a few board of members. Okay, these board of members, where do they get from? They're selected from. They can be from a higher institution. They might come from a government agency. They might come from private sectors. Then at the moment we have we have 7 board members. Okay, the first one is Berbahagia Professor Dato' T.S. Dr. Rosli bin Muhammad Yunus. He's a professor in UMP, University Malaysia Pahang. Then have Yang Berbahagia Dato' T.S. Dr. Muhammad Noor Azman Hassan. He'll be the Deputy Secretary General, Science, Technology and Innovation, MOSTI. And in Berbahagia IRTS Dr. Badri Shah bin Ahmad, Vice Chancellor of University Malaysia Police UMP, University UNIMAP, sorry. Then we have Yang Berbahagia Professor Dato' T.S. Dr. Ahmad Rafi bin Muhammad Ishaq, Professor from Multimedia University. Then have Yang Berbahagia Dato' T.S. Dr. Suhaizah binti Zali, and she is the former Deputy Director General of Information and Communication Technology Office. And then have Yang Berbahagia Dato' T.S. Dr. Muhammad Naim bin Yaakob. Then he is the esteemed lecturer from UTHM. Then the last one is TSIR Yam Tiong Siang, and he's the president of TAM, Technology Association Malaysia, and he's going to give a similar talk on 17th of April this month, and of course his talk is more effective compared to mine, I believe. Okay, and he's one of the board members for MBOD, and currently he's the president of TAM. So registration of TAM at the moment have 4 categories. One is the graduate technologists, qualified technicians, professional technologists, and certified technicians. Okay. Then recognized technology fields. Okay. They are quite wide. As long as you are involved in technology, then you can admit yourself as a member. Some of the fields are including electrical and electronic technology, information and computing technology, chemical technology, telecommunication and broadcasting technology, biotechnology, building and construction. Normally, all the civil guys, we are enrolling in this field, building and construction technology. Then we have a resource-based survey and geometric technology. This is for survey guys, manufacturing and industry technology. This is for mechanical guy. Then agro-based technology, this is for agriculture guys, cybersecurity, ICT guy, transportation and logistic technology. This one not so sure, either is civil or some other field or logistic. Material science technology, okay, this one most probably related to mechanical, marine technology. Sometimes is related to civil as well, because one of the elective subject, it might be marine technology. Maritime technology also one of the part of the civil. Okay, it might be if you are in this field. Atmospheric science and environment technology, green technology, this is most probably related to electrical or green technology. Oil and gas technology, oil and gas automotive technology, aerospace and aviation technology, this most probably related to the pilot lah. Okay, and for your information, there is one guy who is a pilot, but he is from no, he's from Penang, and now he's the captain driving the Airbus in Vietnam. Okay, so the background is civil, but he also has the qualification as a pilot. Okay, then we have the food technology, nanotech, nuclear radiological technology, and the people who are doing the art and design, okay, they can enroll themselves because in art and design, it involves technology. Okay, the act and regulation for forming this, what do you call it? This is Technologists and Technicians Association. Is falling under the Act of Technologists and Technician Act 768. And actually, scale of fees, they have come up with a regulation already. And then if you want to see the scale of fees for professional technologies, you can refer to Technologists and Technicians Fees Regulations 2017. Actually, they plan to roll it out if there is no COVID since last year. Okay, due to the COVID pandemic, then postpone until today lah. Yeah. So MBOT also have code of ethics, as I mentioned just now. It is pretty similar with some of the professional bodies. Basically, the code of ethics is talking about the ethics that you need to have as a professionals, where you cannot get the bride, and you cannot overstep other people. You cannot this and that, and make sure that they will teach you to be a proper manner professionals. Okay. And if you want to know about this code of ethics, you can go to MBOT website and download all the MBOT code of ethics. Altogether, there are 50. Okay. And for your information, this MBOT code of ethics, they might question you, okay, during the professional interview. Okay. So how are we going to obtain the professional technologies? These are the route. Okay, the first one is minimum requirement bachelor degree, level 6 MQF recognized by the board. I think most of the bachelor degree that we are offered in Malaysia are recognized by the board, most probably. Thereafter, you can enroll once you graduate. You can enroll as a graduate technologist. Okay, after 3 years working, then you can apply for assessment. Okay, so in the assessment, what are the documents required? Pretty, I can say it's pretty straightforward. Okay, what you need to submit will be your academic qualifications, the offer letter from the company that you have worked for the past 3 years when you are submitting for these applications, your latest CV, and also if you have enroll or admit to other professional bodies, then you can attach the certificates as well. Then thereafter, the board is going to assess whether you are going to qualify for the examination or not. The examinations were conducted through Skype interview, and then at the moment, okay, I think until today lah, okay, the assessment is based on interview for half an hour only, and actually they plan to have written examinations, but due to COVID-19, once again it was postponed. And if you pass the examinations, then you will be confirmed as a professional technologist. There, where you are going to carry, you are eligible to carry the TS title at the front of your name, and at the back of the name, you can put P-Tech, Professional Technologist, at the back of your name. Okay, this is the flowchart. Okay, and also together with the payment scheme. So application for graduate member, you just need to pay for 50 ringgit. So processing fee 40 ringgit, registration fee 10 ringgit. Okay, if it is approved, you need to go through the board of member meeting, board meeting, then it's approved. Then after 3 years working in the industry, then you can apply for professional assessment. Then you have to submit the relevant document for the applications. Then it's approved. Then this one, the duration is quite long. It may take about 1 year to complete this task. Okay, from application or professional assessment to application for professional technologies, this duration, it may take about 1 year. Okay, my experience is about 10 months. Okay, so it takes for quite a long time to do this. And then the interview was conducted using Skypes. There are 2 interviewers. They are going to ask us various type of questions that related to technologies. Okay, later on, what are the questions that you are going to ask? I'm going to share with you as well. Okay, and thereafter, okay, if it's approved by the board, then you can seek for the interview through a professional technologist interview through the Skypes. And then if you get through it, in between that, I have forgotten. Application professional assessment, you need to pay for 600 ringgit processing, where the processing fee is 100, registration is 500. For application for professional technologies, this is for the interview, you need to pay for 350 ringgit, okay? Where 50 ringgit for the processing fee and registration 300. Then thereafter, they will release the certificate to you, okay? And if you have it passed all through, if you go through all these steps successfully, then you will be conferred as a professional technologist. So just now I mentioned that MBOS is taking care of 2 groups of people. One is the professional technologists, another one is professional technicians. Okay, so qualified technicians, the route for application as a certified technician are something like this. The minimum requirement SKM level 3 MQF or diploma level 4 MQF, which is recognized by the board. Then once you graduate, you are the qualified technicians. Then thereafter you can apply for the assessment. Then thereafter, after going through the assessment, if it approved, then you are going to apply for the certified technicians. Then thereafter you will confer with the title TC at the back, at the front of your name. And the amount of money that you need to pay the processing fee, okay, for application of a qualified technician, altogether 30 ringgit, processing fee 20 ringgit, and the registration 10 ringgit. Okay, thereafter, if you go after working for a couple of years, maybe 2 or 3 years, I'm not so sure because I'm not applying this. Okay, then you can apply for professional assessment. Then you have to pay for 300 ringgit. Then you go through the professional assessment. Then you can apply for application for certified technicians. Then you need to pay for 200 ringgit, where 50 ringgit the processing fee and registration 150. And thereafter, you will be conferred with the title TC, okay, as a certified technicians. The annual renewal fee 100 for technician, and professional technologists annual renewal fee is about 200 ringgit. Okay. So area assessment, there are 2 areas of assessment that you need to know. Okay, the first was the competence, and another one is the commitment. Okay, competence were divided into category ABC, and commitment divided into DNC. Okay, competence, they are going to interview you, test you from the aspect of knowledge and understanding, and application to practice, leadership, management, or supervision commitment. Commitment, they are going to test you from the aspect of interpersonal skills and professional conduct. Okay, knowledge and understanding. It was subdivided into 5 subcategories, and then A1, what are they going to test you? Test you about the maintain and extend a source theoretical approach in enabling the introduction and manipulation of new and advanced technology and knowledge through experience and information resources. A2, maintain and extend a sound evidence-based approach to problem solving and also apply technology or technical principle and best practice. A3, definition and basic concept of technology field. A4, evolution of current technology field. A5, latest technology and solution being applied in the market. Application to practice for the competence, what are they going to test you? They are going to test you for the aspect of select engineering. B1, select engineering techniques and procedures. B2, they does include contribute to technological or technical design and development. Use resources effectively to complete the task. B3, implement and evaluate the solution. C, leadership and engagement management, they are going to test you from the aspect of C1, plan for effective project. C2, manage budget, finance people and resources. C3, manage team and develop staff, supervise technology tasks. C4, manage continuous quality improvement. Okay. Competence, they are going to test you in for the aspect of interpersonal skills. The section that the subcategory that they're going to test are including the D1 communicate with others, D2 presentation and discussion, D3 personal and social skill, D4 engagement in and awareness, diversity, creativity, and innovative development of technology and continuous improvement. Okay, and the last one, they are going to look into your professional conduct. Okay, most probably related to core ethics. Okay, so the subcategory that they are look into will be the core of rules and conduct, E2 managed safe system of work, E3 sustainable development, E4 CPD personal planning. So this is the summary. What are the things, what are the items, what are aspects that they are going to test you? Okay, first category is the knowledge and understanding. It does include basic and fundamental of the knowledge, current technological knowledge, advanced technology knowledge, the technology application, adoption of future technology, application to practice. Category B, they are going to evaluate you for the aspect of requirement planning, feasibility, implementation, operation and maintenance. C, leadership and management, they are going to test you from the aspect of risk or crisis management, financial management, work project planning, quality management, safety and health management. D, category D is interpersonal skills. They are going to test you for the aspect of teamwork, communication, innovation, social obligation, creativity, professional conduct. Category E, they are going to test you from the aspect of self-motivation, ethics, integrity, sustainable environment and development, technologist and technician act, and then continuous professional development, CPD training and development. Okay, a lot of people say it's easy to get TS. Maybe for the beginner is easy. Okay, let's say for example back to year 2018, they don't even need to go through any assessment. Okay, the title of TS was straightly conferred to them if they apply for it. And then in Swinburne, basically those the lecturer from a biotech, okay, they are the first batch who register with MBOT and get and as the years goes on, where they have enough people, okay, then assessment is getting tough. I can tell you that, and in fact, they are planning to have the determination for professional technology assessment. Professional technology assessment, but due to COVID-19, okay, this was being postponed until today, and the interview, I can see the scope is quite wide, and there are two bodies helping to do the assessment. One is TAM, okay, Technology Association Malaysia, and another one will be MBOT itself. They appoint by themselves. They appoint their own member to do the interview. And just for your information, according to the TAM colleagues, TAM, the friends, my friends from TAM, okay, the passing rate, the interview that conducted by TAM interviewer, okay, the passing rate is very, very low. Okay, it's only about 40 to 50%, quite low. Okay, maybe they ask too much thing lah. I'm not so sure, but they can ask various type of questions that related to category A, B, C, D, E, and from here you can see the scope is quite wide, and it's not that easy to answer perfectly within a short period, and it's getting tougher. And at the beginning, it's a bit easy, because no people, there is no people joining this board yet. But once there are more people, then some new rule and regulation will come up lah. Okay. Then once you graduate as a graduate technologist, you will be given a certificate, something like this. You will receive the soft copy of the certificate from your internet profile. Okay, actually internet folder, because once we become member, we have our own folder, and you will receive this immediately after you will register as a graduate technologist. Okay, after going through professional assessment, If you were successful, then you will receive the letter, something like this. Okay, then they say thank you very much, and then congratulate you have successfully passed through the professional technologies assessment, and then you know your registration number is this, and then the area that your expertise, the area that you register, the field that you register is manufacturing and industry technology. Then for civil, most of the time you'll be building and construction technology. And then every year, similar with BEM, okay, you need to do an annual renewal, okay, and the annual renewal fee is it costs about 200 ringgit for professional technologies, where for professional engineer with PPC, I think 400 plus every year, but last year we will offer for 50% fee reduction. Thank you very much for ESC. And then after you will receive a certificate, something like this, and here is the registration number, and then it was written there, you are going to be registered under which field. In this case, this guy is registered under electrical and electronics technology field. Okay, then you have the right to use your CHOP. Okay, professional engineer, you have your CHOP as well. And then, of course, that CHOP is more valuable. And professional technologies, we have our own CHOP as well. No, not we, I have both. Okay, the professional technology have the CHOP as well. And this CHOP is quite pretty similar with the professional engineer CHOP. It's a round shape, and then inside there you have the logo or M-board. You have your membership number, your name, and the field that you register with. Okay, and actually, frankly speaking, I have not done this CHOP yet. No, I just put it there. I'm not going to pay any money to do the CHOP for this CHOP yet. Okay, and that's all. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for the interest. And there's a hurdle in front of you. There's the mountain. You pass through it, you will get the S. You will pass through it again. There's another hurdle. You will get IR. Okay, wish you all the best. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kelvin, for your insightful sharing.
Thank you, thank you.
I guess all of us have a deeper understanding of both of the roots now. And now we are moving on to the Q&A session. Anyone who has a question, please type it in the chat box, or feel free to unmute yourself.
I already typed it and then.
Okay. Dennis has a question for Dr. Kelvin. He said that I got some questions to ask about for my personal. Can you briefly explain the function of a TS or TC in future? Maybe as IR now who can hand in drawing or certify something.
Okay. Can I share my slides? No, never mind. I just roughly, I just explain verbally. IR, of course, the function is very clear. Whenever you need to do some submission, everything will be stamped by the IR CHOP by PEPC. For MBOT, okay, PTech, okay. Actually, it's very sensitive to answer this question, but I can tell you that why I say sensitive, because I have invited the speaker from West Malaysia to come over to talk to us. What is the function of PTech actually? But you look into, but what I can tell you, according to the AIC, okay, according to the AIC, any services in future that relate to technology, okay, any application that relate to technology, you need to have certified by the professional technologists according to Technologist and Technician Act 2015 under Act 768. So at the moment, they don't want to tell people, okay, they don't want to tell people what is the actual usage of the CHOP. And then I myself is keep on asking as well. Okay, what's the usage of the chop? I use it, I put it there, and then where do I chop? I'm asking as well. And at the end of the day, and then when we try to talk with the people from from the M board, and then I realized that they are going to implement certain regulation in future. Okay, under the Act, Technologist and Technician Act 2015, whatever services that you involve technology, whatever application that involve technology, you need to get the certification, you need to get the approval from the professional technologists. Okay, like building and construction. Okay, let's say, for example, what I can foresee is we have in construction, we use a lot of construction material. All right, we have a brick, we have the roof, we have whatever wire mesh, we have a steel bar, and I believe in future, and it's not being implemented yet, I believe in future it needs to have the certification from the professional technologists. Yeah, this is what I can answer you at the moment, because it is a bit sensitive, in fact. And then actually, I did ask them to give a talk just relate to this. They denied it. Okay, they say it's sensitive. Okay, this is what I can foresee. Okay, thank you.
There's another question. What is the difference between TS and TC as their function and benefits?
Okay, TS is for degree holder. Okay, TS is for degree holder, and TC is for technician. Okay, so degree holder, so when basically when you do the services and the work that relate to technology, then you can use a TS chop to do to certify it. But TC basically is for those who graduate. Let's say in future the technician need to pull out the wire. Let's say the technician need to repair your pipeline. This is the function of the chop in future. You can foresee that, but sensitive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but sensitive. I can tell you it's sensitive. Because if you have all this regulation, everybody have to pay extra money on that. Okay, it's sensitive.
Okay, the following question is, civil engineering can become TC. Is it more beneficial compared to civil engineer as a TS?
Say again.
Civil engineer can become TC. Is it more beneficial compared to civil engineer as a TS?
Not really, because TC is more to technical work. Okay, then the scale of fee is different. Then if you have a TS, then if you certify all the product from the factory, of course, the scale of fee is much more higher compared to a technician. Yeah.
Okay. The last
Who is asking
question
so many
is
questions?
asked by Dennis. Is it possible to become TS and TC? Maybe like TS, TC, IR, JJ.
Can. If you have diploma qualification, if you have diploma qualification or certificate qualification, then you use that certificate to apply for TC, then it's fine. And of course, you have relevant working experience on that. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Kelvin. Now for IR Edison, the question asked by the participant is, for civil engineering, is it possible for contractor and engineer to meet the requirement for T1 and the contractor firm, let's say 8 to 10 years?
Okay, I saw the questions in the chat group. Yeah. Okay, the first question, it's possible that an engineer, they work with a contractor. You can actually meet the requirements for the tier 1. Of course, like I have explained in the beginning, is that you must fulfill at least 1 year of design experience and also 1 year of site experience. Of course, for contractor, site experience, no doubt is very easy, because contractors usually you're working as site engineers or project engineers. where you spend most of your time in the site, supervising the constructions. And for the design, it is possible, but it might be very difficult, you know, in design, because for project, the design mostly will be done by the consultants, you know. So for contractors, seldom you have the chances to do the design, seldom, but it doesn't mean don't have. You can actually counter propose, but I think in the real field, seldom contractor wanted to counter propose a consultant's job, you know, because it really need to bear the responsibles, you know. If you are the one that actually design, you need to bear the responsibles. Not to say that contractor no need, you know, but contractor actually design, construct based on what have been designed by the consultant, you know. Yeah, so back to this question is that for the contractor, if the contractor happen to be your superior, is a professional engineer, and it happens that he can counter propose or provide a better options to the clients. Yeah, you can use that as the requirements as part of your design experience. Yeah. Then for the question number 2 is mentions that if let's say the contractor firms don't have the PE as a mentor, yeah, so so I can find another mentor from a consultant firm. Yeah, so this one, if your contractor or the organizations or the firm that you're working with don't have the PE, so you need to undergo the PCD, or the so-called the mentor-mentee system, the logbook. Now you can go through that. You get a mentor to verify your job and your experience. Then you can go and seek for the PI. Yeah. Then the questions number 3. How about if I work for a contractor, the requirement for the site should not be a problem. So can I do a part-time in a consultant to get design experience, just in case if if you have enough time and your first company or the contractor, it do allow you to work with a consultant. I mean, yeah, you can go for it and then accumulate your design and also site experience. Yeah. So hope I answer all your questions.
Okay, thank you. There's another question from another student. If I work at overseas, can I apply IR or TS?
Because IR and TS is actually fall under it is given or is being supervised by the board, you know, like for IR is under Board of Engineer Malaysia, and then for the TS is under the M board. So yeah, you can. I think for IR in this REA, the registrations of engineering of A, it mentions that you must have at least 1 year of experience. I mean, working in local, which is in Malaysia lah. I think other than that, you are working overseas, yeah, you can still apply. That one is for IR lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
For TS, okay, I would like to share with you one of my research collaborator. He's a foreigner, okay, but he's working in Sarawak. Then he was conferred the title of TS, meaning to say that foreigner working in Malaysia, they can apply for TS. But those who are working totally in overseas without any working experience in Malaysia, I think I need to find out on this because it's still new. Maybe I will get back to you in some other day, because I'm not so sure whether those working overseas can apply directly to TS or not. But basically, for understanding, it needs to have at least 1 or 2 years of working experience in Malaysia, because you know the environment in Malaysia. right? But the foreigner working in Malaysia, they can apply and get a TS. Yeah, this is what I experience and I know. Yeah, because my research collaborator, he is a foreigner but working in Sarawak, then he can get TS. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I ask a question? Are you using mic to ask?
Okay.
Is it any case in IEM Sarawak for a contractor to register to successfully register for T1?
Come again, your questions?
Is it any case before this is about a contractor they can get a professional engineer with tier 1 in Sarawak? Because actually I know this issue about when I attend a IRSIM talk, it's talk about, I think it's a female engineer that he worked from she worked for a contractor. After that he want to get tier 1 and she resigned.
I think there is a lot of way. Of course, the person maybe first thing maybe he or she worked in a consultant for 1 year, then he jumped into the contractor. Then he managed to accumulate for the so-called 1 year of this design experience. So this is one way. Of course, no doubt that for if you're working in a contractor, it's a bit hard for you to justify in terms of this design. I mean, some contractor they do review, and the reviewing part is considered as a part of the design. But yeah, like what I mentioned, I mean, you need to really plan from the very beginnings. Uh, when you start, if you wanted to pursue your PE, you need to really plan how do you to fulfill all these requirements, all the things, competency elements. Um, if there is a need for you to jump to a consultant to fulfill the design, then you have to. Of course, the contractor, if some of the contractor, I know most of the contractor, they doesn't really design. They mostly they are doing with the constructions only and also planning, project management. Yeah. So um, I don't really aware that there is any purely contractors, yeah. Because I think I'm still quite new in this. I mean, giving advice. I think Dr. Singh can actually give a lot more. I mean, Madam Singh can give a bit more on this part, yeah. So I believe that you are currently working in a contractor, is it?
Denise.
Denise, I think you
Yeah,
currently
yeah,
you're working in a
internship.
contractor, is it? That's why you show the concerns in this part, lah. Yeah,
Yeah, because actually I don't like in office
yeah,
maybe for my future I may be go into contractor
yeah.
instead of
So
consultant.
of course there is um you just need to fulfill, I would say, because a professional engineers, you need to be very firm in you must know everything, I would say, like not only like in the site work but also in the design. So you cannot say that I carry a title of a professional engineer but I don't know or I dislike the design. Yeah. So by the mean that you need to have an experience or attach with a consultant first, then you need to lah, yeah, or else you figure some way to get the so-called the design experience where you can actually justify it during the PE, the PI, the professional interview.
Okay. For the design experience for the tier 1, right? Is it must be a structure or a building? How about just now you mentioned about the project management? Is it considered a design experience?
How you mean project management?
Like you supervise all, and if got any problems, then you involve with the consultant to make some changes. But then the name, of course, is under the consultant. Like be part of the design. Is it considered as a design experience?
I think for me it's not really lah. It's not really. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm do understand that a lot of contractors they really facing a lot of things. So of course, going into the consultants is a very straightforward. You know, it's a very straightforward. Um, that no people can actually argue on your design.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Any more questions? If no, I would like to share my screen now. Wait for a while. Okay. On behalf of IEM and TAM Sarawak student section, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to IR Edison and Dr. Kelvin for their contribution to this event. Here is the e-cert for IR Edison and Dr. Kelvin. After this, I will send a soft copy to both of you via email. Thank you once again. And thank you all for your time. Hope to see you all in real soon. Bye-bye.
Alicia,
Yeah.
I have the answer for the question just now. Yeah, those working overseas can register with can register with MBOT to get a TS title. Yeah, I get the answer already from my colleague. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Is there any IEM-SSSS committee here? I want to ask about who can I make appointment. Nicole.
What? Yeah, what? 什么？
Nicole 所以如果我要问 route to PE 约谁 IEM 我约不到人呢。
你哦，你要约你要约啦，你要那个老师啦。
那个老师我约了很久了，我约了2个月约不到啊。
他没有这样，他最近很忙，他的 schedule 很满。还是你要我帮你啦，我帮你。
好。
干嘛要谢老师？
啊？人家是你知道吗？你知道我有去 text 那个老师哦，然后我跟他讲什么吗 ？Future TSIR Dr. Dennis Chang。
哇，你不要乱讲话哦，等我死掉哦，我跟你讲。